Again? You have been busted paying for support? Again? You have either got to be the worst conspirators in the country, or Cam Harris and the people running her presidential campaign, they have no shame. They don't care, and the reason they don't care is because they know the mainstream media will refuse to report this story. The media, they have conveniently ignored the other two instances which we have covered here on the channel. In the span of about 5 days, Cam Harris has been busted 3 times, paying for support. She paid homeless people last week to attend her rally in Atlanta. She is offering celebrities a free vacation to Chirac along with a $20,000 stipend to attend the Democratic National Convention. And now, Cam Harris has been busted in an attempt to turn influencers on social media into professional actors. You know, I have been doing YouTube full-time for just over 3 years. In the last 3 years, you know how many times I have paid for promotion? You know how many times I have paid someone to endorse my channel? None. When I was just starting out in 2020 and I didn't know what the hell I was doing, I spent about $1,000 1 month paying to advertise the channel. I used Google advertising to make sure my videos were at the top of the recommendations list here on YouTube. Didn't take me very long to realize that it was a complete waste of time and money. Not only is it a waste of money, it does more harm to your channel than it does good. Even though your views increase temporarily, the views are not organic. They're not coming from people who actually support you or want to support you. Basically, it's not real. It is very similar to what's going on right now with Cam Harris. This is why I continue calling her surge in popularity an illusion. If Cam is actually surging in popularity, why does she continue having to pay people to support her? If you haven't already, make sure to like and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at KC_BTL84. Yesterday, after Cam Harris bowed to the radical wing of the Democratic Party, which used to consist of a small vocal minority, but now seems to be the majority, after Cammy bowed to the radical wing of the party by selecting Sergeant Doofus as vice president instead of Josh Shapiro, there were 2 different reactions to her decision. There was the mainstream media reaction, and then there was the perception, the reaction of normal people. The mainstream media, they reacted with an abundance of joy and plenty of wanker spanking. This is great! Cam managed to select a vice president that is just as disastrous as she is. This guarantees victory in November. Cam is surging in popularity. Woohoo! Yes, yes, yes. Then you had the reaction from normal people. Like the media, there were some normal people who were excited about Tiny Tim. The combination of Cam and Timmy, it is the most radical presidential ticket in the history of this country. At the same time, there are some normal people who are concerned because what happens if, God forbid, they win? If you were to believe the mainstream media, you would think that Cam Harris is now the front runner in this race. Last night, Frank Luntz, he appeared on something called Newsnight on BBC. Well, KC, who in the hell is Frank Luntz? Frankie is a veteran pollster who used to make weekly and sometimes daily appearances on Fox News. Haven't seen Frankie on Fox News in quite some time. I don't know what happened, but now he has been downgraded to making appearances on BBC. And I'm wondering what the hell BBC is doing, wasting their time covering Cam Harris. Isn't England on the verge of civil war, at least according to Elon Musk? Don't they have more important things to cover than wasting their time talking about the inorganic popularity of Cam Harris? Anyway, last night, Frank Luntz, he explained to the people in England who can't legally vote in November, but who the hell knows? Maybe some of the people watching BBC last night will be casting their votes for Cam Harris from London. Frank Luntz, he explained to the BBC how Cammie is now the front runner in this race. He followed up that statement by saying that this is Donald Trump's election to lose. Sounds like a contradiction to me, but you can decide for yourself. Roll the film.
Vice President Harris is now the front runner in this race. I know that Trump people, their minds will explode, but Harris has got the intensity. She's got momentum. She's bringing people back into the political fold that had left when Joe Biden was going to be the candidate. That Donald Trump has made a series of misstatements, that his vice presidential choice has not done well. And Donald Trump has fallen back into the old attacks and the old viciousness. This is Trump's election to lose based on the public's belief that his administration has been better, or was better, than the Biden-Harris administration. But he's losing it with speeches that have the same sort of ad hominem attacks to a public that has had enough.
Frank Luntz is absolutely right about one thing, and this is exactly what I was talking about earlier this week with the Trumper, and it pissed off some of you guys. I know the truth hurts, but this is just the reality of the situation. This is not 2016. The strategy that worked for the Trumper 8 years ago, it ain't working today. Donald Trump, I feel like, missed a golden opportunity to unify the country. UNITY. He missed a golden opportunity after his assassination attempt to win over independent voters. Hell, it almost feels like what happened to the Trumper last month, it almost feels like it's being forgotten. That was less than a month ago, and one of the reasons that people are looking past it, it's because Trump is falling back on divisiveness. He's falling back on the same attacks that worked in 2016, but they're not working in 2024. Look. I don't necessarily disagree with some of Trump's attacks. Matter of fact, a lot of what the Trumper is saying, it's the truth. But in order to win this election, you have got to win independent voters. More importantly, you've got to be appealing to women. Vast majority of women, they don't like anger. They don't like meanness. They don't like meanies. Last night, me and the wife, we are watching Cobra Kai on Netflix. There is this dork on the show, Donnie or Dale or Damien. Who cares? It doesn't matter what his name is. The kid is the classic dork who gets picked on throughout high school. Long story short, kid gets his ass kicked in a fight and ends up breaking his arm. He comes to school with a cast on his arm, and one of the bullies from Cobra Kai, they draw a supersized cucumber on his cast. I mean, this thing was so big, it would frighten a female horse. And horses, they are used to seeing a giant dong. When the bully draws the supersized cucumber on the kid's cast, I started laughing. My wife, she looks over at me and she starts chastising me for laughing at the dork. How could you laugh at something like that? That poor child, he's being bullied. Cobra Kai is a sitcom. The entire purpose of the scene was to make you laugh. I mean, it's not like it happened in real life, it's just a television show. But the point is, it's a perfect illustration of the difference between men and women. When the Trumper is making fun of Cam Harris because she promotes whatever heritage is convenient for the moment, when the Trumper is making fun of Cam Harris because her accent miraculously changes based on who she's speaking to, do most of the men in his voting base find it funny? Yes, of course. Hell, I think the Trumper is hilarious at times. But it doesn't matter what I think. Doesn't matter what the men in his voting base think. We're voting for him either way. Women don't find it appealing. Women don't find it funny. According to Frank Luntz and the rest of his pretend friends in the mainstream media, cackling Cam Harris is suddenly surging in popularity. The most unpopular vice president in history. The woman who finished dead last in the Democratic primaries 4 years ago. One of the most, if not the most, unlikable politicians in the country is suddenly surging in popularity? if that's the case, someone please explain this. This is an email from the Cam Harris campaign sent to a social media influencer. Once again, Cam is offering to pay for their support. They are asking influencers to tell their followers why they are supporting Cam Harris. Now, I would imagine there is a clause in the contract preventing the influencer from telling their followers the real reason they're supporting Cam. They're being paid to do so. Instead of the truth, the post will probably look something like this. I support Cam Harris because she fights for women's rights. I support Cam Harris because I want to see the first female president. I support Cam Harris because she's going to allow my family to enter the country legally, and she's going to provide free housing, free health care, free groceries, free cell phones. We're going to be taken care of. Yippee! I guess Cam has already paid the Swiffers because they are voicing their support for Cam Harris. Well, Casey, who are the Swiffers? The Swiffers are those annoying teenage and college-aged girls that listen to the music of Taylor Swiffer. They were pissed off earlier this week because Tay-Tay's boyfriend, Travis Swiffer, he had the audacity to walk on stage during a country music concert. If I remember correctly, whatever honky-tonk singer that was performing, I think he was a supporter of the Trumper. The Swiffer fan club, they immediately demanded that Taylor Swiffer break up with the soon-to-be Travis Swiffer. Don't worry, ladies. I would imagine that the breakup is coming sooner rather than later. If there is one thing that most famous couples have in common, it's divorce court. Cam Harris, though, she can pay for all the support that she can afford, and based on recent funding, Cam can afford a hell of a lot of it. But here's the thing. Paid promotion, it is never as effective as organic promotion. Someone who believes in you, they will promote you a hell of a lot harder, and it will be more believable than someone who's being paid to do it. And they'll do it for free. Problem is, Cam Harris also has an abundance of free support, and it is coming directly from the mainstream media. Well, KC, I thought the media has lost its influence. Yeah, they have. The mainstream media isn't nearly as influential as they were in the past. But that does not mean the media isn't powerful, especially to those who were naive enough to believe them. The mainstream media is fully behind Cam Harris. They are trying to make you believe that Cam is popular, and it's working for now. But there will come a point when Cam Harris has to convince people that her policies will work. What are her policies? No one knows. Hell, I don't think Cam even knows. If you visit her website, there is not a single policy listed. The primary job of a politician is to come up with policy, right? How can you run for president and not have a single policy listed on your website? What we do know is Cam Harris is associated with 3.5 years of failed policies with Johnny B. Biden. And I hope Donald Trump can be effective in pointing that out. If Trump can redirect this election towards the issues, he should win easily. Give me your thoughts on this. Cam Harris busted again paying for support. Do you think that strategy is effective? Is paying for fake support effective? Also, do you believe the mainstream media? Is Cam Harris actually surging in popularity? The same Cam Harris that finished dead last in the Democratic primaries? Same Cam Harris that was so unpopular as vice president they had to keep her hidden? Let me know. Sound off in the comments below. Like, subscribe, share the video. Appreciate your support. Best way to contact me is by email at btlkc84@gmail.com, and I'll see you guys later.